Hey there, Wastelanders, and welcome back to War Games News Radio for another edition of Better Know a Faction, a series where I break down the special rules and tactics for factions in Fallout Wasteland Warfare. This time around, we're taking a look at one of two new sub-factions added to the game in the Forged in Fire wave, and this one is all about bringing that heat because we're going to be breaking down the Forged. A raider gang appearing in the Commonwealth of Fallout 4, the Forged specialize in flame-based weapons. From shish kebabs and flamers to Molotov cocktails and incinerators, the Forged use fire to intimidate and decimate their enemies in the video game, and that's no different in Wasteland Warfare. This is an expansion that I've been excited for a very long time, because the Forged are the first official raider sub-faction added into the game. And if these new units are any indication of what we can expect in the Nuka World wave when that shows up in 2023, then I think there are a lot of really cool things in store for the Raiders down the line. So let's take a look at the Forged faction and special rules and go over all of their units' strengths and weaknesses. As of the filming of this video, the most recent Wasteland Warfare points cost and battle mode updates are a little all over the place. The Modifius team are working on clearing all of this up, but in the meantime, and for the sake of this video, I'm only going to be focusing on narrative mode, so I'll be ignoring any battle mode, weapon, or force list restrictions in this video. The Forged are a sub-faction of the larger Raider faction, and they can work as either a standalone force, or they can be combined with your standard Raider units like Psychos, Scabbers, and Raider Vets. They also carry over all the main Raider faction abilities on top of some special ones of their own. Any chem used by a Raider unit lasts for one extra round, improving the effectiveness of all of those wacky Wasteland drugs that are out there. And Raider units don't need line of sight to charge into an enemy model, so long as there is already one friendly Raider unit engaged with that target. These buffs make the Raiders a fun and formidable faction to play all on their own, and you can find my full review of the Raider faction popping up here, but the Forged, of course, get some special rules to reflect their pyromania as well. In addition to the Raiders' special rules, units with the Forged faction keyword on their unit card gain a specialty when using any weapon that inflicts physical damage and has a non-critical special effect that can light a target on fire. So what exactly does that all mean? Well, it might help if we go over how the on fire condition works to better wrap our heads around this special rule because it's a big one. A weapon's special effects will be shown on an item's card, and depending on the weapon, they can be triggered by a successful hit or by rolling a special effect symbol like a Nuka bottle, star, or mushroom cloud. If a weapon has the on fire condition symbol on its card and the right conditions are met, then any target of an attack with that weapon can and will get lit on fire if you get the right rolls. In this example, I've got a Forged Raider who's taking a shot at the sole survivor at long range with their flamer. The roll on the skill die is a hit with a 2, which is under their rifle skill of 4, and with 2 stars rolled on the blue skill die, the Forged can spend one of them to activate the on fire special ability on the flamer's card. When a model is set on fire, you place an on fire marker next to it, and at the start of its activation, the unit takes 1 damage and does not get to make an armor roll save to try and block it. Models with strong armor still get to reduce this damage as normal, so keep that in mind when going up against any power armor or extra tough opponents. After the damage is applied, the unit then flips a luck token or makes a 50-50 roll. If the result is lucky, then the fire goes out. If not, then the target stays on fire. Now, a model which is on fire can also try to put the fire out by making an agility test on its turn. This counts as a move action and can also be made as a quick action, but the unit spends all of its movement trying to put the fire out and has to remain stationary. You can also use weapons that deal the frozen condition to get rid of the on fire condition in a pinch, but the target then becomes frozen instead of on fire, so you're just trading one condition for another. Now that we've got a better handle on how being on fire works, let's go back and take a look at that Forged specialty. If a unit has a specialty with any weapon, it gets a +2 to hit when making an attack using that item. And for the Forged, this specialty applies to hit when using a weapon that can light a target on fire and deals physical damage. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is that the way this rule is written, it doesn't apply to weapons that deal energy damage. This means weapons like the laser rifle, flare gun, and even the shish kebab won't get this +2 to hit buff. I have a sneaking suspicion that this limitation might get changed in a future errata, at least to include that shish kebab on this list of specialty weapons. I've got nothing to back that up, I just have a feeling that maybe down the line we're in for a tweak or two when it comes to the Forged. One other thing worth mentioning in this specialty is about it only applying to weapons whose non-critical special effects can cause fire. By my count, there's only one weapon with a critical special effect that can cause the on fire condition, and that's the shish kebab. But it already doesn't benefit from this forged specialty because it deals energy damage, so it's a bit of a moot point. But this specialty isn't the only forged-based tactic that you can use to help get some more bang for buck out of your flame-based weapons. So let's run down all the different forged units and their flame-tastic special abilities. First up is the big boss himself, Slag. Slag is the toughest forged unit with 7 hit points, 2 physical, and 3 energy armor. His big guns, pistols, and rifle skills all hit on 5s due to his strength and perception, but his melee and thrown skills are slightly worse with an agility of just 4. And these close combat and thrown skills take an even bigger hit when wearing his signature custom Raider power armor because of its -1 to agility. But don't forget that these attack skills can get a boost when using a weapon that applies to the forged specialty, so choose your gear accordingly. Slag's power armor can also jack his strength up to a 7, giving him an extra black die when attacking with a melee weapon in close combat. His custom suit also has a better physical armor of 3 when on its damage side compared to the normal Raider, which has a physical armor of 2. Slag is decently bright by Raider standards at least, hacking on 5s and searching and lockpicking on 4s. He's immune to battle cry, he's resistant to being lit on fire, and he can bank critical points so he can access a weapon's critical hit stats. And Slag also gets the Pyromaniac perk for free, which allows him to take a mulligan when attacking with a weapon that could have lit a target on fire, but didn't. With this perk active, you roll a special blue effect die if Slag fails to cause the on fire condition after making an attack. On any result that shows a star, well, that target is now on fire. This applies to any and all weapons with these special effects causing fire, not just the ones that fall under the forged specialty. This includes ones that deal energy damage like the shish kebab and the laser rifle. And better yet, because of his Fan the Flames aura ability, Slag also gives this Pyromaniac perk to any and all friendly units within his black presence range. And that's not just friendly forged units, but all friendly units, meaning your standard Raider units like Psychos and Scavers can also benefit from this perk as long as they're within Slag's presence range. Next up is Bedlam, a member of the Forged who's gone a little bit crazier than usual. She is the best melee fighter and grenadier in the Forged subfaction, but that isn't saying much with an agility of just 5. But these stats can get boosted up to 7s when using her incendiary super sledge because of that forged specialty. She has below average shooting skills, hitting on just 3s with both pistols and rifles, and she has 6 hit points with 2 physical and energy armor. She's by far your best objective running option for the forged, searching and hacking on an intelligence of 6 and lockpicking on a luck of 4. And her longer than average standard movement speed of red means that she can move quickly across the map. Bedlam is resistant to fire, just like Slag, and her Teamwork Aura ability lets her dish out a yellow or green die token to up to 3 readied friendly units in her black presence range at the start of her activation. Bedlam's signature weapon is her Incendiary Super Sledge, and it is a legendary weapon, so it can't take any mods, and only one of them can be included in your entire force. It deals 3 base damage with 2 yellow armor break dice, and it adds in a blue special effect die that has a 1 in 3 chance of lighting a target on fire, and a 1 in 6 chance of breaking the target's arm. And don't forget about applying that Pyromaniac reroll on the on fire special effect if she's within that black range of Slag. Next up we have Jake Finch, the last named character on the Forged roster. Jake is part of the Out of the Fire quest in Fallout 4, and he can be included on Raider, Forged, and Survivor force lists. Jake hits on 4s with both pistols and melee weapons, and he can't use rifles or thrown items. He's not the worst forged option for objectives, hacking and searching on an agility of 5, but he doesn't have any lockpicking skills. Jake comes equipped with the shish kebab weapon for free, but because of his reluctant recruit special rule, if Jake is included on a force list that also has Slag on it, then the shish kebab gets assigned to Slag instead. This is a fun little nod to Jake's quest in Fallout 4, and I really like how this rule plays on that narrative. He's a bit squishy with 6 hit points and just 1 physical and energy armor, but because he is a unique unit and he also has the Survivor keyword on his card, he gets a +1 strong armor token at the start of the game. And last up for this subfaction is the Forged themselves. These basic forged foot soldiers have a stat similar to the standard raider with their own forged spin added in. They hit on 4s across the board with ranged, melee, and thrown weapons, but this can get buffed up to 6s with the forged +2 to hit specialty, making them better in combat than your regular raider when using the right weapons. Their objective skills are subpar, searching on an intelligence of 3 and hacking and lockpicking on a luck of just 2, so you're better off leaving these skills to Bedlam or any scavers that you might have included on your forge list. They of course have a resistance to fire just like Slag and Bedlam, and while they have 1 more hit point than your standard raider at 5 health, they do have 1 less point of physical armor, so they are a bit on the squishy side. There you have it, Wastelanders. The Forged are here and they're ready to burn. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe it'll give you some ideas when putting together your Raider and Forged lists down the line. I'm excited to see some more depth getting added to the Raider faction because I think it's a really fun faction to play to put your own personal spin on, so really excited to see what else we'll be getting coming in future waves. If you enjoyed this video, then hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss our next video. And if you really like what you see here on the channel, then consider heading on over to our Patreon page or clicking the join button here and getting a YouTube membership. For as little as $3 Canadian per month, you can help support the channel so we can make more videos more often for you to enjoy. You also get kickbacks like early access to videos, double entry for future WGNR giveaways, and you can even become a named character in a future battle report or live stream. Thank you again so much for watching, and stay tuned because as always, WGNR will be back.